Hello, my dear students. How are you? Today we are going to start with our last lesson in Unit 9. And this is the last lesson in this book. We are going to study literature under the title The Light Beam That Got Away. So please open your books on page 134. Again, before we start, we need to know the lesson objectives for today. Firstly, we are going to read, as I mentioned, a piece of literature, the title The Light Beam That Got Away. Next, we are going to study expressions with the verb take. After that, we are going to learn the pronunciation of the letter O. Finally, we are going to talk about the value of learning from family members. Okay, now lesson 5, literature, the light beam that got away. A quick question before we start. When you look at the sky at night, what do you see? How far do you think these things are from Earth? I'll give you, some suggestions. If you look at this picture, we can see, try to say what is this picture. Okay, we can see stars at night. We can see, try to say the word, or try to say what is this picture. We can see the moon. What else? If you have some other suggestions, try to say them before I show you pictures. Look closely. We can see planes. And this one, we can see planets. And finally, we can see meteors. Yes. Now we are going to go to exercise number 2. Read and listen to the extract. Why are Gedanken and Uncle Albert talking about the sky at night? Okay, put this question in mind, and after that, read again and decide if the sentences after each text section are true or false. If they are false, correct the false ones. Please follow your books.
Track 59.
The Light Beam That Got Away, from The Time and Space of Uncle Albert by Russell Stannard. Part 1.
Turnip wants us to do a project, Gedanken announced. Turnip? Repeated Uncle Albert. Mr. Turner, the science teacher. We have to choose a topic, a scientific one. Then, she added with an air of importance, we have to research it. Research it? Exclaimed Uncle Albert, looking as though he were going to burst out laughing. Yes, said Gedanken indignantly. We have to research it and write up the results in a folder. She was very fond of her uncle, but he could be so annoying at times. She hoped one day to be a famous scientist like him. That's why she had hoped he would have been pleased at her news. She now wished she had stayed at home and watched television. Sensing her disappointment, Uncle Albert apologized. Sorry, it's just that, we didn't do that sort of thing when I was at school. What's your topic? Gedanken shrugged. Haven't decided yet. Alison's doing dinosaurs. Frances Alexandra's doing something on volcanoes. Turnip says I could do energy in the home, double glazing, electric toothbrushes and that sort of thing. But I'm not sure. I'd like to do something really interesting.
Yes, so this is the end of the first part. Just before I move to the sentences with the true or false, they gave us 2 words. Indignantly, it means angry because something is wrong or not fair. And shrug means to raise and lower your shoulders, meaning I don't know. Okay, so now, why are Gedanken and Uncle Albert talking about the sky at night? Okay, Actually, I went back to exercise number 2. So please try to tell me the answer. They are talking about the night sky because they are interested in how fast light travels from the stars to Earth. Okay? That's why this is the reason why they are talking about the night sky. Now I'll move to exercise number 3. Read again and decide if the sentences after each section are true or false. And we said if it is false, please you need to correct the false sentences. Now, number 1, Gedanken has to do a science project for school. It's true. Students, again, I'll give you some time. Try to decide on your own whether the following sentences are true or false and correct the false ones. Then compare your answers with mine. Okay, I said the first one is true. Now, number 2, her teacher's real name is Turnip. Is it true or false? Actually, false. Her teacher's name is Mr. Turner. Number 3, Uncle Albert is a science teacher. True or false? Is false. Uncle Albert is a scientist. He's not a science teacher, he's a scientist. Number 4, Gedanken wants to be a famous scientist one day. True. And the last one, 5, Gedanken is going to do her science project about energy in the home. False. Gedanken hasn't decided on the topic of her science project. Now, please follow your book, and now we are going to listen to part 2.
Part 2.
They reached the park and Uncle Albert thankfully sat down on a bench. Gedanken joined him. Together they looked up at the sky. It was a lovely starlit night. "Isn't that just beautiful?" began Uncle Albert. "You know, when I was a boy, I used to wonder how far away they were, the stars. I thought they were little lights stuck onto the inside of a great big dome. One night, I saw my dad's ladder leaning up against the wall. I climbed to the top, without him knowing, of course. I reached up as high as I could, standing on tiptoe. I tried to touch the stars, but there was nothing there. They seemed as far away as ever. I've never forgotten that." He seemed lost in wonder at the recollection of that childhood discovery.
Okay, this is part 2. Again, I will move to sentence number 6. Gedanken and her Uncle Albert are looking at the stars. True or false? It's a true. And 7, when he was a boy, Uncle Albert's father climbed a ladder and tried to touch the stars. Is false. When he was a boy, Uncle Albert himself climbed the ladder and tried to touch the stars. Okay, now we are going to listen to number 3, part 3. Please follow your books, my dear students.
Part 3.
"How far away are they, Uncle?" "A long way." "But how far?" "Oh," he paused, lost for words. "So far that well, it takes years for their light to get here." "What?" Gedanken was not sure she had heard him correctly. "Yes, years. That light we're now looking at was given out years ago. It's taken that long to get here." "But why? It doesn't take time for light to go from one place to another. When I put on a light at home, the light goes everywhere at the same time." "Not quite," explained Uncle Albert. "It only seems to get everywhere at once. That's because rooms are small. You don't notice the tiny, tiny time it takes for the light to go from the lamp bulb to the walls. But out there in space, it's different. The stars are a long, long way off, and their light takes ages to make the journey to us, and that's despite how fast it goes." "How fast?" 300,000 kilometers a second. He saw her looking blank, so added, 186,000 miles a second. She still didn't seem to take it in. 5 times round the earth in the time it takes to say rice pudding. 5 times? That's right. That's how fast it goes. And it still takes years to get here from those stars, even at that speed. They continued to sit there, gazing up at the sky, lost in thought.
Yes. Now I will start with sentence number 8. True or false? It takes a very long time for light to travel to Earth. True. 9. When we put a light on at home, the light goes everywhere at the same time. False. It still takes a tiny amount of time for light to travel from the lamp bulb to the walls of a room. And 10. Uncle Albert doesn't know exactly how long it takes for light to travel from space to Earth. False. Uncle Albert knows exactly how long it takes for light to travel from space to Earth. And even he said the exact number. He said 300,000 kilometers a second. Okay, now students, we will move to exercise number 4. Discuss these questions with your partner. Number 1. What did Uncle Albert believe about the stars when he was a young boy? He talked about a nice memory when he was a young boy. He said, students, try to say it before I show you. Okay, actually, Uncle Albert believed that the stars were little lights stuck on the inside of a big round roof. He thought he could touch the stars in the sky if he stood on the roof of his house and reached up. Number 2. What did you believe about the stars when you were very young? Okay, this question about you. What did you believe about the stars when you were very young? So, okay, number 2, this is a student's answer. And number 3, which topic do you think Gedanken might choose for her science project? Is she going to choose the stars and moon, electric toothbrushes, or the journey of light from space to Earth? You know, we think that the project that Gedanken is most likely to choose is going to be the journey of light from space to Earth. Now 5. Why are these numbers important in the story? Write the words as numbers: 300,000 kilometers a second, 186,000 miles a second. These numbers show the speed that light travels from space to Earth in kilometers and miles. So when we say the first one, 300 kilometers a second, and the other one, 180,000 miles a second. Now exercise number 6. Expressions with the verb take. Look at the expressions in blue. In the last part of the story, which phrases is the odd one out and why? Okay, odd one out is to take in, to take something in. Okay, this phrase means to understand something, but the other phrases with the verb take, all of them, they talk about the length of time. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this. We have many phrases using the verb take. Okay, all of them, they talk about the length of time except one, which is take something in. This verb take something in, this is a phrasal verb, but it means to understand something. It doesn't talk about the length of time. Okay, now discuss the questions with your partner. How long, again, you know, these are your own answers. How long does it take you to get to school? 15 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes. It depends, you know, on the district and area you live in. Now, number 2, how many years does it take to start and finish school in your country? Okay, you know, we mean from the 1st grade to the 12th grade in high school. How much time does it take to travel from your home to your nearest family member? Say uncle, brother, if he's married, or sister, aunt, uncle, etc. Now 4. What have you learned in school recently that you found difficult to take in? To take in, okay, as we said, it means to understand. And number 5, tell me about something that it takes ages to do. Okay, now we will move to exercise number 8. It's about pronunciation, the O sound. Listen and repeat these words from the story. What difference do you notice when pronouncing the O sound, and which word has both sounds? Please listen.
Track 60.
Topic. Going. Fond. So. Hoped. Sorry. Volcanoes.
Yes. So after listening, can you tell me what is the difference? What did you notice when pronouncing these words? Okay. The correct answer is that some words, they have a long O sound, and some words are with a short O sounds. Okay, if I help you, I will show you this table. As you can see, some words with short O sounds, okay, like topic, fond, sorry. See, the pronouncing of O is short. Sometimes the next column, you know, these are words with long O sounds, like going, so, hoped. Okay, so this is the difference. In some words, we say the O as short one. Okay, the other words, we say O as long sounds. But you know, again, the second part of the question, they say which word, only one word, has both sounds. It means the long and short O sounds. Actually, it's the last word, which is volcanoes. Volcanoes. See, the first vol is a short one. Nos is the long O, so volcanoes. Yes. Number 9, values, learning from family members. What information did Gdankin learn from her Uncle Albert? Which school subject will it help her with? How do your family members help you with your schoolwork? Who is the most helpful person in your family and why? Number 3, tell your partner about something important that you have learned from one of your family. It can be connected with schoolwork or useful advice about anything at all. Here, I can say that I have come to the end of the learner's book. But again, before I finish, I want to remind you, you need to answer pages 108, 109, which are related to lesson 5, and you have the last page 110, which is a unit revision. Here, students, sadly speaking, I will say that we have come to the end of our journey in this book, and I'm looking forward to meeting you soon. And please, I want again to give you my sincere wishes for you with success and happiness in your life. Thank you very much, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.